Not financial advice, simply my journey in margin. A lot happened this week, probably the biggest week the channel has covered so far. Let's get into it. Choppy week, third losing week in a row for the major indexes, though Friday clawed back a good chunk of it. Bond yields were the story all week. The Treasury announced it would double its long-term debt buybacks on Wednesday. Stocks rallied hard on the relief. And then yields snapped right back up Thursday, wiping most of it out. Dow fell 1.32% Thursday alone, its worst day since July 29th. Walmart dragged it down over 9% despite beating earnings on weak U.S. sales growth. Friday brought the bounce back. Dow 0.51%, S&P 0.42%, Nasdaq 0.46%, as investors awaited details on Trump's economic warfare plan against Iran, and Bitcoin surged toward its best week in 3 years. For the week, S&P down roughly 1.4%, Nasdaq down about 2%, Dow down around 1.3%, a real pullback after 3 straight weeks of gains. Correction from earlier posts. I said a couple times this week that Fed Chair Kevin Warsh was speaking at Jackson Hole today or tomorrow. That was wrong. The Jackson Hole Symposium actually runs August 27th through 29, with Warsh's keynote specifically on the 28th. That's next week, not this one. My mistake. Wanted to correct it on camera rather than just quietly fix it. This is the real headline of the week. Monday and Tuesday, I finished executing the holdings reduction plan from the overlap analysis. Sold 13 overlapping ETF positions: XDIV, CDZ, ZDV, HDIF, HHIC, ECHI, ZDIV, QQCC, EQCC, PDIV, XEI, BIGY, YMAG, freeing up $10,279.97 Canadian. Kept 7 positions as a deliberate, less drastic choice rather than the full theoretical consolidation. CDAY, CLSA, HYLD, QDAY, ZEQT, HDIV, and Bank. Started redeploying into BRKY, scaling it up into a larger satellite position, plus MAG7 satellites GOGY, APLE, AMHE. Then Tuesday was the big one, a full redeployment day. $10,400 Canadian deployed across 15 positions, split across the target weighting clusters. US Large Cap / Mag 7, $4,850. USCC, HYLD, SDAY, QDAY. Sector Thematic Alt, $3,550. HGY, HBTE, BDAY, CMCC. Diversified Canadian, $1,500. ZEQT, HDIV, VDY. MAG7 satellites, $500. SPXE, CRWY, AMHE, GOGY. That brought margin utilization back to roughly 35%, right at target, and landed the account almost exactly on the target cluster weighting I'd set out. 40% US Large Cap / Mag 7, 20% Canadian Dividend Bank, 20% Diversified, 20% Sector Thematic. Canadian Dividend Bank came in essentially exact. I also built out a 10-year coast versus grow simulator this week, modeling 2 paths: pay down the margin with distributions, coast, or cover interest only and reinvest every dollar of surplus into more shares, grow. The grow path pulled meaningfully ahead over time. By year 10, roughly a $27,000 net equity gap in grow's favor in the model. So the decision. I'm going aggressive for the foreseeable future. Cover the margin interest, redeploy the rest into more shares, and let the account compound. This is the plan through the remainder of 2026. I'll reassess in the fall since interest rates may move, which would change the math this whole approach depends on. Thursday, GOHI plus ECHI, $10.20 Canadian. ECHI was already sold by then. That was a stub payment earned before the trim. Friday, B-Day, S-Day, C-Day, Q-Day, B-I-G-Y, I-N-T-Y. $51.39 Canadian. Quiet, no-effort income on top of everything else that happened this week. Something I've been thinking about. If it wasn't for making this content, I'm not sure I'd even open this account for months at a time. Both scenarios in that simulator run entirely on autopilot. The account genuinely doesn't need daily attention. The content is what creates the need to check in, not the strategy itself. So here's the plan going forward. Daily pre-market posts stay exactly as they are, but the deep dive weekly videos, like this one, are going back to a monthly cadence. I'll do a full monthly review with updated performance metrics and only drop an extra video in between if something material actually happens. A big trade, a rebalance, a real milestone. Not just because a week went by. The 200-follower milestone giveaway closes August 31st, about a week and a half left. 1 hoodie, 2 t-shirts, 3 winners, no purchase necessary. Link in bio if you haven't entered yet. This weekend, I'm doing another full holdings review. May trim a few more names to tighten things up even further. If anything meaningful comes out of that, I'll cover it. Otherwise, see you next month for the full review. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it.